The next level is a rising star. And y'all be honest with yourself when you were going through this. If you want this download, I'm going to put it in the description box so you can take a real honest inventory of the level of visibility you have, where you think you want to go, and how much effort and sacrifice it's going to take to get there. So a rising star. Some characteristics of our rising star. You frequently speak, okay? You frequently write. You frequently are seen as. You you are starting to become known as a top expert in your industry because you have a thought leadership. You have a different perspective. You are a teacher. You are a contrarian. You're somebody who merges industries and creates a new thing. You figured out how to niche within an industry that already exists, right? There are a couple of different ways to be a rising star, and you pick one. If you're gonna be a contrarian, then you can't also be the person who is the traditionalist, right? Like, you need to pick a side and stick on it. But that's also one of the challenges of being a rising star, because now, and remember what I said at some point there are some sacrifices. Up until this point, you might not have had to make that many sacrifices in terms of what it is, what you stand for, etc. When you start getting put on national stages, people are going to want to know you. They're going to want to know your opinion. They're going to want to know what you stand for and what you don't stand for. They're going to want to know that you are their tribe or you aren't your tribe. You are their type of weird or you are not their type of weird. And so often I see experts struggle at this level because they cannot decide what it is they really want to be known for. You see, I could accidentally be a resident expert by a lot of things, right? I just kind of got income, my 7 streams of income. I got income coming in from all sorts of angles, right? As a local hero, I can still be known for this thing to this person and this thing to this person. Rising stars, you'll experience real sacrifice, okay? What are you willing to give up to gain where you want to go next? This is the first time where I would say this is the Sybil version, okay? Other rising stars, y'all definitely weigh in. This is the first time where I really felt misunderstood. And not misunderstood the way I felt in corporate, right? Because feeling misunderstood in corporate as a woman of color, that's child's play. I did not know what it meant to be misquoted. I did not know, and I'm not here to gauge people's intentions, right? I didn't know what it meant to be misunderstood. I didn't know how powerful the words that I was speaking was until I saw them in print. I did not know the repercussion of not being ready because I had not set my new foundation in my new brand as a resident expert, and I was unprepared. This is the pivotal moment that a lot of women who are experts get to, and then this is where they usually end up feeling stuck. It's because now you really have to decide, am I all in, or am I good? Am I good with, I don't want to rise anymore. I'm good right here. I done made my multiple 6, 7 figure. I think I would suggest even that if you are a rising star, you need to either accelerate or you need to maintain. I would not suggest sticking at this level. It's not sticky enough. For me, it doesn't feel sticky enough. And I'm telling you, this is somebody who considers herself a level 3. And I'll talk about why I do not believe I'm 4 or 5, even though some things have happened, because things happened out of order. Okay, things happened out of order, and that's okay too. You got to let stuff happen and then learn and grow from it. I will be ready next time. But I would submit to you that this is where most of my experts feel the maximum level of discomfort, because this is the first time that they really feel what vulnerable feels like. And if you have not learned how to manage being vulnerable, this level will eat you from the inside out. And so that's why it's so important that you still have your foundation set, that you continue to strengthen that foundation of what makes you you, so that you never forget who you are and who is already championing behind you and what you do and how you do it and why you do it. And then when you get to this place where people start to misunderstand you because they don't know you, all they know is the thing that you put on social media. All they know is that conference that you spoke at, and they are making a real-time decision. This is where the sacrifice comes in. And this is the level where I see a lot of experts burn out. And I'm gonna raise my hand too, because this was the burnout for me. When I was called to speak on almost 30 stages in 3 months, and I was just like, oh, is this what this, right? Because up until that point, I was a local hero, playing around like I was on the playing around. I was very much this. 90% of my business, my income, my all of that came from referrals, people who knew me, liked me, trusted me. I could give myself a free pass if I had a slip up or oopsie daisy. And then I got featured in the Business Insider, and everybody was like, oh my God, you're in the Business Insider. And I was like, yeah, I'm in the Business Insider. Oh Lord, I'm in the Business Insider. And there were so many things that benefited me from being there. And I'm not saying I'm not grateful for every blessing that comes along my way, but I was not ready. I was not ready for the instant exposure that came from being in the Business Insider. I was not ready because my foundation, my new foundation, was still being built as a brand strategist. And so when they reached out to me and they interviewed me and did all these things and all these processes, oh, this is next level. Like, I've interviewed people like this, but it's never happened to me. And I felt very naked and very afraid of being retaliated against, of being misunderstood, of having one of the most painful moments in my lifetime be put on display for all the world to see, and there was nothing I could do about it. If you are not ready for that level of, I call it naked, I'm gonna use the words that I have. You're not ready for that level of naked, you're not ready for what happens after level 3. It's a pivotal decision to say, you know what, I'm gonna push through the pain of being a rising star so I can continue to level 4 and 5. And it is a decision that too often we make sweeping because we think, oh, I want to be level 5. And we miss the boundaries that need to be in place here. Y'all, I didn't learn about boundaries. I'm gonna write that word too. I did not learn about boundaries until this. I had people calling me, wanting to talk to me. I had attorneys calling me because they saw the thing. They wanted to know if I was gonna reveal, information and all this. Was not ready. Was not ready. Set these things in motion. Set these things in motion so you have a community that will help you in that readiness time. That you have somebody who's going to watch your 6 while you are facing forward in that camera and sharing whatever it is somebody is asking you to share. All right. So, rising star. Let's just say this is the lifestyle you want. Like I said, do not sit in here too long. Get your tools, get what you need to have, and figure out how to either accelerate or realize, hey, this ain't the life. I'm gonna pull back. I'm gonna be an awesome local hero to everybody who needs me. All right. Leverage the visibility that you have. But if you are interested, here's some things you might be thinking. How can I position myself as a nationally known industry expert? How can I make sure my thought leadership gets in the right national publications? How can I make sure I start developing the right partnerships on a national scale that are going to align with me and my brand, so that it continues to move and evolve in the way that I want it to go? It continues to reveal the things, the parts of me that I need people to know about me and remember about me. So some things you want to start doing is looking at some national podcasts. Now, y'all know I do not believe in paying to be on anybody's podcast, okay? Like, unless, since we're using Oprah today, unless it's Oprah's podcast, I would not be in the business of paying to be on a podcast. Build relationships with other industry influencers is where you need to be here. Think about those strategic partnerships that are going to help propel your business and your thought leadership in a new way as an expert. Think about complementary expertise that align with what you believe in and what you do not believe in, right? You don't want to partner with those people. I tell people all the time, I love the image consultant part of the work that I do, but I do not believe in fast fashion. And y'all can fight me on this because my brand, one of my brand pillars is sustainability. So no, I'm not shopping the fast fashion, and y'all can list them all out. I don't believe in calling out people's brand, but fast fashion, right? It's bad for the environment. It's mostly made of plastic. It's cheaply done, and it does not reflect or represent who I am or what I want to be known for. I love sustainability. I love fashion, and I want to figure out how to combine the two. That is the work that, and I would love to, if any of y'all do fashion and it's sustainable, I would love to partner with you on that. I love zero waste clothing. Like, that is a thing where you cut the fabric one time, you sew it up and create all these weird and cool abstract designs. I love that sort of thing. So that is what my brand is known for. I want to look fabulous and I want to save the environment. Research some national awards you can apply for. So often we overlook applying for awards, and awards is a process, okay? Applying for awards can definitely take time. I used to apply for awards on behalf of my business, and there was an entire department almost dedicated to award season. So if you were interested in being in that 40 under 40 or 30 under 30 or who or whatever, look at those industry awards, look at the qualifications, start figuring out how to build that. You want to be Small Business of the Year award, whatever that is. That is your opportunity to build that type of authority in that level. All right. So let's just say you feel a little spicy. You want to go to level 4. Y'all, I hope this is helpful. Just pop in the chat if it is. Level 4. And level 4 is going to be a rock star. Level 4 is a rock star, okay? You are officially starting to be the GOAT in your industry. You are a rock star. And like I said, maybe you figured out how to niche out in the industry in a new way. Maybe you're the industry contrarian, you're like down with blah, blah, blah. So maybe you are known in your industry. You are a rock star, right? You're knocking it out the park. You're either that really great contrarian going against the fray. Maybe you have taken a stance on traditionalism. Maybe you said, here's how these two industries that don't make sense should make sense together. Whatever that looks like for you, you are knocking it out the park. You've got a pretty, chances are you've got a pretty substantial travel schedule. Okay. Again, I go back to the sacrifices that happen at 3, 4, and 5. And by now, you probably have a team because you can't do all this by yourself. There's nothing worse than getting here and realizing you don't have the systems to be here. This is where systems reign. I need to just put that in bold letters, but if you don't have a system, you will not be able to sustain. You need systems and processes to be a rock star. Because why? You still got to make sure that foundation is set. You still got to make sure you meet all your local obligations. You don't want to fool around and do a bad, poor local interview because you were seen doing this thing that's against your brand, right? Like you said, you're a vegan, but then you are at the Ruth's Chris, right? So y'all, visibility is a funny thing. I tell people I am the almost vegan. So every once in a while, I might have a piece of fish or something like that. And so if you catch me in these streets at the steak restaurant, please know it's because they probably got a piece of salmon or a crab cake with my name on it, because I don't eat all the seafoods anymore. But right, whatever you saying you stand for, You need to have a system to make sure it is being reinforced. Whatever you say you do not stand for, you need to have a system to make sure it is being reinforced. And of course, by now we are making the seven or should be. Yes. And I don't like shoulding all over women. You should be making the multiple seven. But if you have not set a solid business foundation, then you could totally have a 7-figure revenue and a 5-figure profit. If you are not careful, if you don't have a system, if you don't have a team of people who are going ahead on your behalf to make sure your business is set up straight, that you're not owing back taxes, that you're not making bad investments, that your fulfillment makes sense, that you're showing up in all the places and spaces, you're not overspending. This is where people get really overzealous and they start overspending because we're seeing the money coming in. This is where you've really got to lean into, do I have good money habits? Do I have good support systems in place that are going to hold me accountable? Do I have people who are going to make sure that even if I'm not eyes on the business, that the business is still being watched? Okay. So level 4, you are a rock star. Some things that you might be seeing here is you are starting to attract, and I use the word attract because that means you're not going out, even though you'll probably still be doing some going out. You are now starting to attract people who want to bring you on their stages. You're attracting publications who want to hear from you. Maybe you will be a repeat contributor to a national publication, that sort of a thing. You will have people attracting everything you and your brand stands for. But again, ATTRACT, attracting. Again, there are sacrifices to be made here. I was listening to a podcast and there was this coach who said that she did over 800, y'all, 800. Woo, she did over 800 speaking engagements in 5 years because she wanted to get to that as quickly as possible. That was her sacrifice. She is now a global voice. That is where she wanted to be, and she wanted to accelerate that process. Make good decisions based off of the quality of life that you intend to have, the lifestyle you want to lead, and the future that you are seeding. Now, she was on the accelerated process. There are other people who are like, oh, woo, like I did. I have my pearls today. I got these. But I was like, ooh, 100 stages. Okay, wait, I almost didn't make it on 30 in 3 months. I'll make 800 stages in 5 years. Think about what you are going to lose and gain as you gain this visibility. Is your family okay with you traveling? Are you okay being separate from your spouse for days at a time? Is your spouse going to be able to travel with you? Do you want to have children? Are your children old enough to take care of themselves? Are they going to travel with you? And thinking through some of those things will help you figure out if this is the level of visibility that is right for you, because now it's not just you that's visible, it's you plus your kids. And I know this is not this, but sidebar, there's nothing more offensive to me than people filming people's kids. Like that just, if I'm out in the street with my nieces and nephews and you want to catch me on film, fine. Do not have their faces plastered all over the place. They did not sign the agreement for visibility. I did. Like that just, that's one of those things that just blows my mind. That's what I call bad media, is when people literally have to cover their kids' faces because they don't want them in the media like that, right? So think through this. We want the accolades. We want all of the pomp and circumstance. All of that comes at a cost. Is it a cost you are willing to pay? Okay. So let's say you're a rock star. Like I said, outside of the fact that I need you to have solid business foundations, because there's nothing worse than seeing a rock star who is broke. Woo, child. That's for a whole nother video. Right? Think through these things. Some things you might be thinking is, how do I become a global voice? Right? You're nationally known, people are attracted to you. How can I get to this global stage? I really want to sit on Oprah's sofa. Have you thought about writing a book? By now, you should be an author. I am actively working on the book that I think is going to be my for real book, because I've written a couple of books, like my for real book that I want to like be known for. You should be an author by now. You should have such a strong stance that people are energetically pulled to you or energetically repelled by you. There should be no in between. Nobody wants a wishy-washy brand. Everybody wants a sure thing. You need to be a sure thing by the time you hit rock star stage. And so you might be saying, well, how do I? This is a pay to play stage. I don't know how else to say it. You're going to be paying in some way or another. There are some pay to play stages there. And you do need a really good PR experience. Why? Because you need reputation management. You need crisis communication management. You need to have all of that figured out so that should you choose to hit level 5, you have a system in place that's going to shield and protect your brand. And so often we think building a personal brand, ooh, I got a logo and a thing and a theme and a blah. Y'all, I'm all about protection. Have you protected your IP? Have you proven that you are the only person who can license this product or your thought leadership? Have you figured out how to copyright and trademark and do all of the things that should have already been happening anyway? This is where the rubber meets the road. You don't want to get sued because you use somebody's name or brand accidentally. This is, yeah. I got a side note story. When I made a cake because those of you all who know me know I used to own a bakery, and I made a cake in the likeness of a very familiar Disney character, and people were like, "Oh my God, your cake is fabulous!" Blah blah blah. Y'all, the way that email was set up, okay. So if you are a baker, you need to ask for permission before you start using. I never did another Disney character again on a cake. People like, "Ooh, well, you do?" Nope, sure won't. It looked too close, which is a great thing. That means I was a very good artist, right? It looked a little too close for them. Just saying. So, rockstar level, that's where we are. Think about creating content, right? Like you should have repurposable content now. You should have so many assets that your assets are speaking for you and living and breathing for you, okay? This is where I tell people you should start to see passive income, right? But guess what? That passive income took some activities to get here. You should have some, one of my coaches call it good night money. You should have some good night money. Like you in bed and the money is coming in and you say, "Ooh, good night." And then you wake up the next morning, it's been a good night because there's some more money that wasn't there. This is the true passive income kind of experience, right? You are sought after. And then the last level, since I'm running out of colors, I'm gonna go back to black, which is fine, is level 5, global superstar. Okay. And then you can be like, "Ooh, hey, Oprah, is that you, girl?" Global superstar. But here's the thing, global superstars set up their own platforms. Do you want your own platform? Okay. Are you gonna build your own stage like Beyonce? Are you gonna be on, it doesn't matter if you black or white tour like Michael Jackson, rest in peace? Are you going to build your own stage? That is global. All right. That, and there's a whole nother level of sacrifice for that. How many teammates will you need to maintain your global brand and positioning? What got you here is not going to help keep you memorable. Brand evolution is hyper critical at that age. Like you have to constantly be inventing and reinventing yourself, which means you have to invest in your brand excessively. You have to obsess over your brand when you are here. You can't let any of the things drop, or you got to be ready with that crisis communication and reputation management. All right. Global branding is not for the faint of heart. Y'all, have we not all seen the internet trolls who are waiting to pounce on the global brand because they know they can never be found out? Have we not all watched and sipped our tea? Talking about, I'm just looking at the comments. Do you want to be on the receiving side of that? That's really the question. And I don't say this because I want to do shock factor or scare factor, but really understanding. And I say this because I love my women and I love my experts. Understand what you are going to give up by getting visible. I remember when Michelle Obama talked about being in the White House and what that experience was for her. And she was just like, you miss the little things like being able to go to the corner store and grab a coffee or a candy bar without paparazzi or cameras or news asking you why you on your third piece of chocolate. Like she didn't say it in that way, but like that is the thing. That is the give up so you can gain. And yes, of course, you're making 8, 9, 10 figure income at this point as a global brand, or you should be if you got good money management, but there is a cost associated that I just don't think we think intentionally enough about. And my channel is about intention, y'all. Like intentionally decide that I am okay with the sacrifices. I'm okay with the compromises. I'm okay with everything that comes from being a globally known brand and globally recognized expert. I'm okay if people call me things or memes are created about me or falsehoods are invented to try and lower the status of my brand. These are the things we've got to think about. And so often, and I'm about to wrap up, like I said, this probably is a part 2 video. Ooh, child. So often we have tidbits of each level, right? And so, like I said, I'll say my case in point. Here I am. I've spoken on national stages, right? I've been flown all up and down and across the US. I've been invited to speak um, at global workshops. Um, I've spoken at conferences that have 18, 20 countries at represented, right? But am I a global brand? No. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I firmly believe I'm a level 3, right? I did everything I could possibly do to be a resident expert. I still volunteer, I still show up, I still do all the things. I'm a local hero. I've been in the newspaper. I hosted the TEDx. I'm a board member. I'm doing all of those things. And then now here I am with my YouTube platform, talking about what it means to be a rising star. And y'all, this is, like I said, there's a different level of discomfort here because, right? Hey, Business Insider, I appreciate you. And now what? Or the fact that I had a talk show on Roku. Whoa, you had a talk show on Roku? Yeah, sure did. And to know that that was just the tip of the iceberg, and to also know that I'm willing to make the sacrifices should I choose to continue to get to rock star or global level, depending on how I feel, at what age I feel like doing these things, to say that this is not where I want to be and I got to make a decision. Am I going to hit the gas and go up, or am I going to go back to local hero, which is okay too, right? But when you have a taste of each of these, you start thinking, oh, that's where I'm at, and that's not the case. So take a really good inventory. This moral of the story as I wrap up, take a really good inventory. Where are you? How many levels are there between where you are and where you want to be? And what are the trade-offs? What are the sacrifices? What are the things you are willing to give up so that you can gain to achieve the level of visibility that you believe you want to have so that you can continue to serve the people who need you the most at the highest level possible without compromising who you are. All right, I told y'all I was a school teacher. Y'all know teachers is long-winded. Y'all know we could go on all day. I hope you enjoyed this one. Definitely leave a comment or anything in the chat below. I'll be sure to put those resources that I talked about in here. Till next time. Y'all, whoo, this feels amazing. I feel like I'm back in the classroom. See you on the other side. Till next time, don't forget to be the one.